Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to Woodlawn Lake Park. Councilwoman Sandoval is going to give you a little history of this park, I'm sure. I want to thank the White House and the DNC for always taking time to highlight the good work that's going on right here in San Antonio, Texas. We're grateful for their efforts to promote and enact equitable policies to ensure that we can all build back better. The moment we recognized the gravity of the situation that our country was in and the reality of the situation with regard to the pandemic, I believe was when we saw the images that were emanating from San Antonio, Texas, of the families, the hundreds of families lined up for assistance from our San Antonio Food Bank. It was a recognition of the thousands of families, tens of thousands of families in San Antonio and millions of American families across the country who were that close to the brink of economic devastation long before the pandemic even started. That's when I believe all of us recognized that this would be a reckoning for our entire country. What we decided to do here in San Antonio is build ourselves on teamwork and to ensure that we're working together to ensure that no family got left behind. So immediately we transitioned one of our housing policies called the Risk Mitigation Fund into an emergency housing assistance program to ensure that no one lost the roof over their heads because of this pandemic. That program's budget is now $190 million, has served over 45,000 households, and yes, is now supported by millions of dollars from the American Rescue Plan. And in San Antonio, we're especially thrilled that the American Rescue Plan affords local governments the opportunity to recover lost revenues. Our hotel occupancy tax is built on a thriving hospitality industry, our local economy's third largest sector, and it's unfortunately been very hard hit by the pandemic. Recovering our lost revenues means that our proposed fiscal year budget now includes zero cuts to critical services and infrastructure, which is pretty amazing when you consider all that we've been through during this year. Looking ahead, the Biden administration's American Jobs Plan and infrastructure framework promise to create new, well-paying jobs that create generational opportunities for working families across the country, and there's no better place to illustrate that than right here in San Antonio. And I know all of you recognize the great work that's already been taking place, and the good news that's already on the horizon as of this morning, new record lows in terms of job loss since this pandemic began. Locally, our economy will invest, with voter approval, a total of $240 million in workforce development and degree completion programs, all without raising taxes. Hundreds of residents have already begun their new careers, and thousands more are currently enrolled in our training pipelines. The administration's commitment to a workforce development will run parallel to our local efforts to provide for steep change to our community's trajectory, onward and upward, breaking cycles of generational poverty that not only have gripped San Antonio, but communities across the country. Because in San Antonio and across the United States, we must reject the notion that economies are struggling with a talent shortage. The raw talent exists in each of our communities. It's been here for generations. We've just refused to tap into it, but that is finally changing. So as our eyes open, our charge is to close the gaps we know exist: skills gaps, education gaps, wage gaps, socioeconomic and digital divides. Because investing in our workforce families, investing in our working families will permanently alter the course of our city and of our nation. So thank you to everyone who's here. Thank you, Congressman Castro, Julian, Councilwoman Sandoval, our community representatives, and every San Antonio resident who's ready for a brighter future. We are so glad to welcome the Build Back Better bus here and say, in San Antonio, we're ready to work. Now let me invite now to the stage my colleague, Councilwoman Ana Sandoval.
Thank you, Mayor. He has a great way of motivating and inspiring and delivering remarks that, words that we all need to hear. Bienvenidos todos a Woodlawn Lake Park. We are in District 7, really the heart, this is a heart of the West Side kind of place. And behind me, the mayor said that I'd give you a little bit of history. I'll tell you what's off the top of my head. We really just celebrated the 100th anniversary of this park a few years ago. It was a beautiful celebration here. And behind me, you see one of the most beautiful views in San Antonio. That's the Basilica of the Little Flower, the Shrine of the Little Flower that's behind us. In terms of history, I'm honored to also be joined here by two of my predecessors, the representatives of District 7. You'll see Secretary Julian Castro come here. Before he was mayor, he was council member, Julian Castro, of District 7, and also the first ever single-member council district representative, Mr. Joe Alderete, is here as well. Thank you. Throughout our country, and here in our West Side community, we've witnessed the torment that the COVID-19 pandemic has caused our families and the unjust wreckage it's brought to our working class people of color. We all see the effects locally and we try to do the work locally. But a challenge this size is impossible to address without the full support and the leadership of our federal government and administration. In that respect, the American Rescue Plan has been a life-saving piece of legislation. Or as I like to say, it's 1.9 trillion rays of sunshine at a very dark time. This pandemic has put many people's lives at risk, and for many, it also put their homes at risk. In the state of Texas, over 1.2 million residents are behind on their rent. That's 1 in 5 renters who are at risk of losing their home when this eviction moratorium expires. But because of the American Rescue Plan, here in San Antonio, we have been providing thousands of San Antonians in need with the help they need to stay in their homes, pay their utilities, their water and their light bills. And under Mayor Nirenberg's leadership here in San Antonio, not only can we continue supporting our community in need, but we're also making a simultaneous investment, a transformative investment in our public health department, which we have all seen is needed across the nation. And lastly, to all San Antonio residents, if you are behind on rent, if you fear you're facing eviction, we are here to help. District 5 Councilwoman Terry Castillo and I are joining forces and hosting a housing assistance clinic on August 28th at St. Mary's University, another West Side gem, which is really just down the street from here. It's all connected and beautiful on the West Side. And now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce my former classmate from Thomas Jefferson High School, a guy who happens to be a congressman right now. That is Congressman Joaquin Castro.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be with you all here at beautiful Woodlawn Lake on the city's west side of San Antonio. I want to say thank you to Mayor Ron Nirenberg for his incredible leadership of the city of San Antonio, and also, as Ana mentioned, my former classmate, Ana Sandoval. We went to Jefferson High School, not too far from here, too many years ago now, but I won't say exactly how many. Just today, there was a remarkable piece of news that broke this morning, which was that jobless claims in the United States have hit a pandemic low. It was the latest indication that this president and this Congress, and of course the hardworking American people, are bringing this country back from the devastation of the pandemic that we faced over the past year and a half. We all know that, of course, we're not out of the woods yet. We're still very much in the middle of the fight with COVID-19, and in many communities that fight has intensified. But it's also a sign that we finally have a government, after the years of division of the previous administration, turning Americans against each other, you finally have a president and a government who are working to do what's right for the American people, who are working for things like infrastructure, our roads and streets and highways and bridges. It's interesting, we think about San Antonio, such an incredibly historic city, but also one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. And you think about, I think every year when I see the engineer report come out about the state of our bridges and highways and roads and how much work we have to do. We've seen that report come out year after year after year. And yet for years, the United States Congress and presidents have been unable to get a major infrastructure bill done. This president and this Congress look like we're finally going to be able to do it. A once-in-a-generation infrastructure package for the United States of America that will truly help transform America's cities, and I believe will help transform San Antonio to an even greater and more vibrant place than it already is. We're working very hard, as the president has talked about, building back better, to make sure that Americans have every opportunity in front of them, no matter their age. You know, you think about this city, as you look out into the city, this is a city of hardworking, humble people who actually, I think, don't ask a lot from their government. But the one thing that they ask for when they pay their taxes and their fees and everything that they do to make sure this city and this state and this country run is they ask that it be a place of opportunity for themselves and for their kids. So when we talk about a $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, but remember also a $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill, it's not just a matter of transforming America's infrastructure, just the roads and streets and highways, which are very important. It's also a matter of transforming something else that I've talked about for years right here in San Antonio, our infrastructure of opportunity, making sure that this is a place of opportunity for everyone. Our infrastructure of opportunity is also about our schools. It's about making sure that every single child in the United States has access to the internet, because getting on the internet, as you all know, is no longer a luxury. It's not something that people would like to have. It's something that people absolutely need. And so President Biden and Democrats are working every day to build out that infrastructure of opportunity for San Antonio and for America. And I'm very proud to be part of it and to represent my hometown of San Antonio. And y'all, of course, are in my district now to represent San Antonio in the United States Congress. And I'm going to introduce somebody who looks a little bit like me, although he wasn't able to grow a beard, but he's still my brother. And that is former mayor of San Antonio and councilman, also former HUD secretary, my twin brother, Julian Castro. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Woodlawn Lake. I want to say thanks to Mayor Nirenberg and Councilwoman Sandoval, and of course to my brother, Congressman Castro, for their leadership and for their remarks here today. As we stand here in August of 2021, 8 months into President Biden's administration, we see very clearly that electing Democrats makes a difference in America. Democrats deliver results for the people of the United States. Checks into the accounts of families across this country to reduce poverty, shots into the arms of Americans to keep them healthy, jobs across this country and small businesses opening back up, people getting back to work. A few months ago, in January of 2020, this country was still in many ways on a downward spiral. Our economy was still reeling. Our vaccination effort was going slowly. Americans' level of distrust at one another was at an all-time high, as we saw on January 6th. And just a few months later, because Americans voted to put Democrats in charge, we've reduced poverty in this country significantly. Our vaccination effort is going much more strongly. We've gotten a better handle on the coronavirus. Small businesses have opened up and people have gone back to work. Our country is getting stronger and stronger because we're building back better with President Biden and Democrats in Congress. San Antonio, in so many ways, represents a community of the future. We were reminded of that the other day when the census came out. It looks like America is going to look in the years to come. I think about all the fantastic investments that this president and Congress have championed and the difference that they're going to make so that more of our young people are able to get a great education. More folks are able to get the training they need to get good jobs. More of our seniors are able to live out their golden years in good fashion. More people are able to get access to good health care than ever before. Those things that determine
whether people are able to reach their dreams in this country, no matter their background, no matter what their last name is, where they come from, what state they live in, how young or young at heart they are. That is the American spirit. As Democrats, we believe that everyone counts, and we're working hard to make sure that we're a nation where everyone prospers. We're going to continue to build back better. We're going to continue to invest in everybody in our country. Here in Texas, the American Rescue Plan is delivering billions and billions of dollars of money that is going to help build back communities devastated by the coronavirus. We felt the effects here in San Antonio, in infrastructure, in housing, in education, in small business ownership, and that's going to continue. With the infrastructure package, with the reconciliation package, we have a chance to build an America that is more prosperous than ever before, because Americans voted to put Democrats and President Biden in charge. Your vote counts. Thank you.
And with that, I'd like to welcome back our mayor, Ron Nirenberg. I think he had to go. All right. You want to make the concluding remark? Well, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming out, and thank you to our press for covering what is a resurgence in the United States of America, building back better, and what it means for San Antonio. This city also is benefiting from the incredible work of Joe Biden and his presidency, and also from a Congress that's committed to